Well, welcome to King's Academy Christian School. I'm Erin Baggs, and I'm the Assistant Administrator at King's Academy, and we're glad to have you here. So, King's Academy, if you haven't heard, we're a certified UMS school, which stands for University Model School, and we actually have 89 schools like these across the United States and one in China. So this model is growing, and we're very excited about that. We also are accredited, so we're very excited that last year we went through the process and we have dual accreditation, so you can know the stamp of approval that we're meeting state standards, and we also received a Christian accreditation saying that we are distinctively discipleship model. But our mission here is to partner with you. We don't want to take your kids away from you. We want to partner not only in their education, but we want to equip them for a Christ-centered life. And so that's our mission here. Our vision is that when your child graduates from King's Academy, whether they start here in kindergarten or somewhere in between, that they will be educationally prepared, morally grounded to defend their faith, and impact the world according to their God-given talents for the glory of God. We recognize there's probably quite a few places you can go to educate your children, but what happens at King's Academy is we feel like if we produce the smartest child when they graduate here and they don't know who they are in Jesus Christ or their purpose, then we failed. So we're very committed to the discipleship portion also in this model. I've spoke that we're part of the University Model Schools, and so NOMS, you will hear us mention that quite a bit at King's Academy, stands for the National Association of University Model Schools. I want to give you a little bit of information about this organization. You can also go onto their website, which is linked on our website under the FAQ tab, but probably 27 years ago or 28 years ago, 5 families came together and began praying and asking God for a model where they didn't have to put their kids in 5-day Christian or traditional school because they wanted to have time, but they didn't want to be truly responsible for all the education of their students. And they wanted to be done with academic excellence. And through those prayers was birthed the UMS model. And, fast forward 25 years, today we have 89 schools around the United States, like I've already said. But they wanted to have a quality education, a cost-effective, and a education that would prepare students for college if that's where God was leading them, if He was leading them to the mission field. So we're definitely college preparatory. Our core values here is to love and glorify God, to help fulfill the Great Commission, to pursue Christ-centered community, affirm, encourage, and equip our families, educate with excellence, integrate home and school, and reach out to the world. We are very family-centric here. This model will provide time for your family, put time back into your hands to be able to pour into your kids. And I love that, and I'll continue to speak to that as we go through. The ultimate goal is that we're producing wholesome, competent men and women of character who make a positive difference for Christ in the next generation. This model of education takes the best attributes of homeschooling and combines them with the best attributes of traditional Christian school, and it blends it. It's kind of its own model, its own kind. So it was established in July of 2002 and now has over 89 schools across the United States and one in China, and we're very proud of that. We're hoping to expand that. And then 60% of the NOM schools are accredited, and the goal is in 2 years to have 100%. But as you cross over some of our state lines, not every state is receiving this model and still wants to classify it as a homeschool co-op, but we know God's going to provide an answer in that. Okay, so King's Academy, we are part of the UMS school. We were established, part of the UMS model. We were established in 2003. We are a non-denominational Christian school. We are very blessed to be in Colonial Hills Baptist Church, and the pastor serves as a covering as a headmaster. But our statement of faith, which you will read through if you haven't already, lines up pretty much with any, Baptist or non-denominational or Methodist church, any, your churches like that. We're accredited from Advanced Ed, International Christian Accrediting Association, so we not only have one, but dual accreditation. We have a low student-teacher ratio. Our elementary classes, kindergarten through 5th grade, are on site here on campus on Tuesday, Thursday. Our 6th through 12th grade attend classes on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. We do talk to our parents about it. It's not just a 2 or 3 day program. It is a 5-day school program. We have on-campus days, and then you have satellite home days. But your certified teachers are developing a scope and sequence and lesson plans for 5 days, and so you will receive a lesson plan of reinforcement that's to be done at home. So the planning is not up to you, it's up to our certified teachers, but you will guide the practice at home for the reinforcement of what's been taught here on campus. It's a college simulated schedule, so I will share with you our students become very independent. They learn how to budget time. They have a strong work ethic. When they come out and they go into college, students are here 4 years or more or have a seamless transition, and that excites me. They come back and visit us, and a lot of times I get feedback that college is easier than the high school years here, and I don't, that's good for us, but I'm thinking, okay, so what are they doing at the college level? But days off, the central campus are spent at the satellite home campus with their family, and we're very family-centric, as I'm sure y'all can already kind of see that we want to focus around the family. We foster a love for learning. We're not teaching to a test. We believe that if you help a child discover that learning is fun, God has given you a whole world to explore, that learning won't just stop past 12th grade or when they're in college, that they're going to want to continue to learn and have that desire to discover and see what the Lord wants them to learn throughout their life. We believe that each student is uniquely designed by Jesus Christ. And so with that, we don't want to take everybody's kids and try to make them fit into a box. We want to see what your child's giftings and talents are and help you develop that as they're growing up. So partnering with parents. We believe we're giving you the gift of time, and I hope that excites you. Where a lot of traditional school settings will pull your family apart, even pull away the time your siblings get to spend together, this model will give you the gift of time. And we go back to what the Lord says in Deuteronomy 6:5-7. I'm sure y'all are familiar with this verse, but basically he is saying you are the first teacher. And even though we live a little bit different than they did back then, it's still, while you're going along life's path, whether you're in the car, whether you're having breakfast or dinner with your kids, whether it's right before bedtime, these are the intentional times that a lot of times families are being pulled apart, or they're racing to and from, and they don't have time to really just sit and talk and just visit about your day or what the Lord's doing and sharing. And so we believe, and we want to help our parents to be intentional with the time that you have to pour back into your students. So if you take an average 5-day school for a student, the time spent in a school is about as you can see, 16,000 hours with about close to 1,500 hours of homework, for a total of 18,252 hours if you take their time they're in school from K through 12th grade. A KACS student is going to spend about 6,872 hours on the central campus, but at home will have almost the same amount of time with their parents, about 6,500 hours at the home campus, for a total of 13,395 hours. So we're reducing the total hours of education by a third and will reduce the time spent away from your home in education by 60%. And so those figures are speaking to how much time you're going to have back with your students or your children. So we partner with you by communicating. We provide a detailed satellite home campus instructional sheet. Our teachers are required to upload it by Sunday evening so parents can download it on Monday or Monday afternoon when the students are come home from school, or if with the K through 5th are already at home. And that way you have an outline for the week, and how this helps your student and helps you kind of can learn what's going to be due on the Wednesday and the Friday and the next Monday, and you can learn how to budget time and what needs to be done. So we use RenWeb. It's an online communication system. Some of you may be familiar with that, but all our emails, grading, parent reports, any kind of resources we need to provide you will be on this online communication system, so you'll have access to it 24/7. We have weekly newsletters that go out and also monthly newsletters. And then we employ the Matthew 18 principle of conflict resolution here, basically saying that, you know, if you have an issue or a problem with a staff member or a teacher or another parent, we ask you go to that person first and try to resolve it that way. If that doesn't work and you need to come to the administrator or you need to come to another staff member, but we definitely try to resolve, not that we have a lot of conflict here, but that's what we want to employ, making sure people go to that person, and it protects having an environment where people are chatting or visiting about things that maybe don't need to be discussed in a public arena. We have a very much family-like environment. The community here is very sweet, very families that not only like to do community here as a school, but they will get together. They have a Facebook page, and they may say, well, there's this certain event that's come to town. Does everybody want to meet on Friday and do a field trip with your kids, or maybe have a park day? And then we have scheduled things here as a school to bring our community together and families to be able to gather and enjoy one another. Another thing we do here, we have mentor groups. This is in the 6th through 12th grade. It's a very intentional time that with our upper campus, about every other chapel, we have a special program. It's an Access program that we have purchased, and we deal with very hot topics that our young people are dealing with. And through that program, they provide questions after the video, and our teachers break down our upper campus into about 5 to 6 students, and so we're able to have those mentor groups and really pour into your students. We also typically in the school year, we have about 3 parent educations where we have either speakers who come in and speak on a topic. For example, this past probably a month ago, we had Dr. Cook come in, and she talked on social media and just how that's affecting our generation. So we want to give you tools and help you as you're walking through this process. We want to truly partner with you and help you as you're walking along this journey. We have prayer cells and field trips. So again, we foster a very family environment here at King's Academy. One of our goals is to prepare your students for college. I don't know what God has for your children, but we want to be able to produce a student that is ready for college if that's what they're called for. And we need people, kingdom students, whether it's in college, the mission field, the workforce, to be out there. And so we want to do everything we do with excellence here. So starting in the 9th through 12th grade, we have an academic advisor. She sits down with you and your student in 8th grade and devises a plan for them through the high school years. Of course, if you come after 9th grade, she's going to work with you to make sure you get the credits you need to graduate from King's Academy. We have individual and course evaluations. We also have students that participate in dual credit, go to TJC or UT Tyler, their junior and senior year, and they're able to transfer those credits in here. So that gives them, some parents want that for their kids before they go to college. Some parents don't want that, and so that's your choice. But again, we offer that here. We do provide college interest testing here to prepare them. We give the PSAT in the 10th and 11th grade, and we're also giving a PSAT to our 8th and 9th graders because we want them just to be able to experience taking that test. We do career placement assessment, and then we give Terra Nova test. That is our standardized testing that we do in the spring. That's kindergarten through 11th grade. Now, I will note, this school's not going to teach to the test. We give a test as a benchmark. We want to be evaluating that our students are growing and that they're moving from grade level, that they're mastering what they need to master, that our curriculum is rich and it's meeting the needs of our students, and that our teachers are meeting the needs of their students. So that's what we use testing for, not to, we're not teaching to a test. These are just a few of the colleges that our students have been able to get accepted into universities and scholarships. And so as you see, we're getting into the colleges they choose to apply to. Now with 89 schools, we have students, you know, all over the United States attending colleges. But that just shows that we are getting into the colleges of our choice. This graph here shows, it's a graph that there's pretty much 3 routes to college. You have the traditional 5-day-a-week K through 12th grade full-time student. And so they're going to go to school and they'll be in school 5 days a week, K through 12th grade, and they're kind of told where to go, and their teachers are going to, you know, tell them, you know, what's due, when it's due, and, you know, somebody's going to kind of be guiding them through that whole process. Then you have the homeschool route, and the reality is there's, with all the co-ops and different opportunities now, the true homeschool route probably is not where that's the only experience that they're having. Sometimes they go to a co-op on a 1 day a week or take some additional classes. But the UMS model shows that there's a gradual route where, just like you know, you have a baby and they're more dependent on you, and as they're getting older, they're becoming more independent. Well, your kindergarten student is going to be very dependent. K through 2nd grade is going to be very dependent on you. And then as they're moving into 3rd through 5th, they're still going to be dependent on you, but they're going to be able to do some independent work under your guidance. And as our kids are moving through the junior high and high school years, they've learned the work ethic, they've learned how to budget their time and how to get that assignment sheet and be able to you know, do their work on their own. And mom and dad is serving more as a coach and a mentor to them. And so I can, and I'm going to share with you in just a little bit, I have 2 students that have graduated through King's Academy, and the work ethic that has been developed in my students and the ability for them to be able to budget time, I believe, comes from being part of this model. And it's as a mother, it's exciting to see in a young adult. Our academics, we have exceptional academics. We have a certain pace and a rigor in the classroom, and we can't slow down the pace we move for one child. You know, we have a scope and sequence. Even though our students are only on campus about 16 weeks for a semester, we have a lot of ground to cover during that time. We teach from a biblical worldview, and that doesn't mean we're just going to say, okay, we're going to stick a verse on. We're going to look for opportunities with what we're studying to bring in, you know, who God is into the classroom, whether it's through literature or through history or science, and even math, talking about He's a God of order and how He created the world. And there's just lots of ways to show God in creation through math. We integrate technology in the classroom. We actually have a computer lab, and then we also have a CAL, which is computer on wheels, so we can take 20 computers into any classroom. We have tablets, and so we do integrate that into our classroom. And we have lab days, immersion field trips, and then again, high standards which emphasize character and a strong student work ethic. For our K through 2nd grade, they are here from 7:55. Next year, it'll be till 3:05, and that whole day is integrated. It's not a block schedule like once you enter into 3rd through 12th. So those students, for the whole time they're going to be doing phonics, reading, math, writing, Bible, history, and science. We actually start off the morning after their Bible time. They go to the gym. They think they are having fun. It's not that they think they are. They really are having fun, but it's like brain gym. We're getting their cognitive, neurons in their brain going, and there's certain movements that we're doing, and then they go back to the classroom. And that has been such a beneficial program that we've been utilizing for probably 4 years now, and works very well with the younger students. But this is kind of what their day looks like. Sometimes it varies a little bit if you have a K through 2nd grader. So our staff. Well, our staff is all Christian. When you come for an interview here, we're not only going to talk about the school and your teaching background, we're going to talk about your relationship with Jesus Christ and how you're active and involved in your church, because if we're going to disciple your children, we're going to have teachers that are truly being poured in to pour out to our families and our students. One of the exciting things about King's Academy is we have a lot of master teachers here. A lot of retired teachers, and I call them young retired teachers. Maybe they started teaching at 25 and they put in their 25 or 30 years and they want to retire. But they don't want to fully leave teaching and they want to work part-time. So we have quite a lot of teachers, I would say, that have retired, and they're here teaching what they're passionate about. They may come in and teach 2 classes, they may teach 4 classes, but they're master teachers, they have their degrees, and they just have a lot of experience. So we're excited about that. They support the UMS model. They provide a Christ-centered approach, and they support you, and they support your students with accountability. And they regularly communicate with you as parents. And I don't know that I can adequately express this, but our staff loves our students, and they love them big here. And so it's not just about getting them through Algebra 1, and they really take the time to pour into, if they're struggling academically, they're there. But if there's other things going on in their life, maybe sometimes we all have some family things that could be going on, or just personal things. Our teachers are really here for the students, and it's really neat to see what happens through prayer and someone else speaking into your child. I don't know about y'all, but I'm always thankful that God puts other people in my children's life to mentor them and to speak truth into them. Sometimes hearing it from somebody else besides me speaks volumes. I don't know. So athletics, we have 6-man football right now. We are with TCAL. Our goal is to go with TAPS as soon as, with TAPS we cannot have any homeschoolers playing with us. Not that we don't love homeschoolers, it's just TAPS has a whole nother level for us to participate in. We would be able to travel to games that are closer to us, where TCAL, we do have to travel a little bit. But that's kind of the difference between TAPS and TCAL. You have to have all your students within your school. We have volleyball, cross country, and basketball, track, and baseball. And so the question was asked earlier, like cross country and track, that's both for male and female. At this time, we just have basketball for our young boys. It doesn't mean we won't have for our girls. It's just the interest has to be there. My daughter actually played basketball for us a while back when we had a lot of girls that wanted to play basketball. So we, of course, have to have enough to field the team, but we are open to, expanding our athletics. And we do have cheer also for the girls. So our extracurricular activities right now, we have drama, journalism yearbook, chess club, and academic rodeo. Student organizations is the Christian Honor Student Association and Student Council. And as we're growing our extracurricular activities. So how do you become a member of the KACS family? Well, first you come to a new parent meeting, which you're already here, so you can check that off. And then you will go, if you decide, we want you to pray. We want you to pray, and we're praying for you. We pray all year that God will call out the families that He desires to be here. And so we want you to pray because we want you to know and understand the partnership that you're committed to and committing to. Then you will fill an online application, which you have a packet that will that instructs how to go online and fill that out. If you have more than one child, we have some paper applications. You only have to fill out one online application for one of your students. The paper applications are for any other sibling or child you may have of that student, and just fill out the pertinent information. We don't need your address and phone number all over again, but we do need the stuff pertinent to that student. We will check references, not only personal references, but there's a pastoral reference. Depending where you're attending church, whether it's your pastor, or sometimes if you're in a very large church, let's say for like Green Acres, some people get their Sunday school or youth minister to fill out, somebody who maybe knows you more on a one-on-one and that you are attending and involved in the church. After we receive your application and we process it, we will set up a family interview. The family interview is a time for you to ask any questions, to get to know us further and us to get to know you, and just want to make sure this is a great fit for your family. Placement test we will give to your students if they are not coming out of a school setting where they have standardized testing that says they're on grade level. So we will give that in English and math to make sure that they are ready to go into the grade that they're supposed to be going into. If you have a kindergarten student, basically in July, the kindergarten teacher will meet with the students and just make sure they're ready for kindergarten, see if they know their numbers and their colors, if they're recognizing letters, if they're beginning to read, those sort of things. Financial aid, we do have financial assistance. If that's something that you feel you would qualify or need, I encourage you to go onto our website, and under our FAQ tab, there's a link, and it's through FAST. It's a third party that will evaluate your tax return, and they will let us know based on what you put in and what classes or how many children you have here, whether you qualify. And we try to honor that as much as we can for the school. We kind of call it tithing back into the school. It's not like we have a big endowment here and we can give this family, $5,000 or this family $5,000, but we really do try to work with our families, and we want to come alongside if that's a need. If you have multiple children, there is a second and third, fourth child discount. It doesn't go past 20%, but still that does add up and help. It's 10% for the first one and then 20% for the second and any thereafter. And then after you make your registration payment, you're considered an enrolled family. I will tell you, open enrollment is beginning in this month, and so our families will be re-enrolling, and the registration fee starts at $300 in the month of February, and it goes up by $25 until August. So I always encourage my families, if you know God's calling you here, it'll save you a little money if you register early versus $450 in August. And sometimes that happens, but just want to encourage you in that. Tuition and fees, we've already talked about. The online application is $95. There is the registration fee, which I've already made mention to. And then there's a $175 building use fee per semester, and that does cover your yearbook, your Terra Nova testing, our NOMS fee we have to pay, and some other fees like that. With King's Academy, you pay tuition per course. So there are some parents that maybe they want to teach history at home, and you don't want to enroll in history and you want to enroll in 3 courses. You have that flexibility here, so it's not like you're going to pay a flat $10,000 a year for your child to go here and not take a course. So you, just like college, you pay per course. Our students, though, are required to be enrolled in the Bible class. So, if I have a high school, junior high, or 3rd through 5th grade student that wants to come here and take 2 classes, they will have to be enrolled in a Bible class because we are a discipleship model, and that's part of our policy. Material fees and textbooks. There are some classes we've started trying to acquire some of the curriculum or making it available in ebooks for our upper campus, but for the most part, parents are going to be responsible for buying textbooks. We do have resources or used books from other parents, but your consumables, those are going to have to be purchased new, and we can give you those sites too where you can get used books. Uniforms, we go through Academy Uniform in Bergfield Plaza, and so we would give you the information. Anything that they're wearing on the top has to be logoed, a logo shirt, which Academy Uniform prints. Where you get your khaki pants or navy pants, those type things, you can go to Target or to Walmart or anywhere that sells the uniform and colors, and we're fine with that. Now for girls, a lot of them like to wear the plaid jumpers or the skirts or skirts, and those do have to be bought through Academy because there's a certain plaid and a certain length we require. And then sports. Again, since you pay per class, the sports, there's a sports fee if your child chooses to participate in that. So those are our tuition and fees. Our curriculum and books, we're going to have to take the Scroll Christian Bookstore. They used to be one of our main resources, but I'm sure y'all have heard they're closing down. So some of the other places that you can buy used books are listed here, and so we have those available for you to look at. And so I want to tell you thank you for coming. I do want to take a few minutes to just share my UMS journey with you. This is our website for King's Academy, the NOMS website, my cell phone. And we'd love for you to set up a shadow day for your student if you'd like to do that. So know that's available to y'all, and I will take questions. But I just think it's important. Not only have I been with the school almost since the conception, but my daughter has came through King's Academy. They didn't have kindergarten through second grade when she came, so I homeschooled and then started her in about third grade, and my son started in fifth. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my heart. I wanted to share as a parent who has two students who have graduated from King's Academy Christian School that the path less traveled is not always the easiest, but the dividend is great. You can attend a lot of schools that will challenge your students academically, but I can say that KACS doesn't just challenge students academically, but the model builds self-starters, fosters a love for learning, and requires a strong work ethic. Both of my children have the ability to budget their time, they think critically, and they know the value of a day's work. And I think those are great traits for our young people to be learning in this day. Continually, adults comment on the maturity of students who have been in this model for 4 years or more. Beyond the academics, you are getting a bird's-eye view of your child's life. I've been able to look into my children's heart. I've been able to see how they interact with other peers. Now, they're independent in junior high and high school, but because we have some time with them, we can really see what's going on. And sometimes I think as parents, we may think we don't want to know, but if we're going to be guiding and helping model and pouring into their heart, we need to know what is capturing our child's heart. Most education pulls the family apart. Most models do. 5-day-a-week programs, activities after school, peer events tend to leave little time for parents and family. I've heard testimony after testimony of siblings that are closer because of this model versus an education system which pulls the family apart. As parents, God has mandated us to be the first teacher back in Deuteronomy. All of us need to be discipled, and what better way than being active in your child's life and being aware of their flesh patterns, their problems, their issues that they're walking through. Being a Christian school doesn't mean you keep them immune from situations to grow and be stretched in, but this model allows you to be present It allows you to be able to listen and speak into their lives when they may be choosing to operate independently of God. My kids are 22 and 19, and this model has fostered a close relationship and the time to speak about all kinds of life situations with them. Life is messy, and my kids have seen their trials, but this model has allowed other staff members and other parents and their family to speak into them. There were times I said, Lord, I don't want to do this anymore. I'll be honest. It's hard sometimes having kids at home with you. But now that I'm on the other side, I'm so thankful that the Lord said, rely on me and I will get you through the journey. The reality is God has really taught me a lot about myself, and He's broke me and drew me closer to Him by being part of this model. My son just got married, and I think it's a testimony. He married a girl from King's Academy. They didn't date in high school, but they didn't date during their time in high school. But I think one of the greatest testimonies, as I looked around that venue of people that attended, they were former teachers they were students and families that we had connected with at King's Academy. This model has given us a community to walk through life with, and I'm excited to see how God is going to use it to change families and impact the kingdom of God. And so I say, we have about this much life, and we get about this much time with our kids. And when we're in it, it sometimes doesn't seem like it's passing by. But I'm telling you, as an empty nester, when you look back, it passes by quickly, and you will never regret taking the time to be with your child and investing in them.